Good morning. I hope I'm coming in loud and clear. Just bear with me while I don't know, sort myself out. Let's check the sound. I think the music volume's fine. Let's keep it like that. I hope you all had a good weekend. And I certainly had a good weekend. It's quite nice. I wish there was an extra day, but there isn't. This might be the only stream I do this week. So that's why I thought I'd just do it. It's the only chance I'll get. Where did we leave off? I was just doing some stuff just now, actually. I was just like, because I wanted a cloth on one of the pews inside the church, which is quite nice to do, because I just want to break up some of this repeated pattern, because when you look at it sort of this way, you've got this repeated pattern. I don't know, it really irks me. So I thought, we'll just chuck some cloth on it and see how that feels. I did end up solving the issue with the cloth being draped over all these. I don't know if I like it. Maybe it just needs to go somewhere else. But it's going to stay there for now. The issue was, and I only noticed this when I hit the floor, and then I still ran the simulation, but it was still colliding with the floor even though it wasn't there. So I just turned off all the collision and reset them all to the ones that we only wanted, and it seemed to just work, which is kind of nice to know. So I'll have to remember that next time I do any simulation work. I was having a problem with the pew because of how complex some of the... I think it's because they're not welded. Like, some of the tops with the fabric and everything was just not welded. Like this. And it's got all these divots and creases and stuff in it. I think it's just getting tangled in between all those things. It's just like, you need like a solid block to simulate over for it to work really well. Or there might be some settings, I don't know. But I found if you make a simplified block like I've done here, just this, that's going to represent our chair while we do the simulation. And I think I've got it now. I've just selected self collision, so hopefully when I click go it's gone and it works. What else happened? My friend made me a landscape shader, just a simple one. So we've got that working again. With some nice cliffs in the background. It's not necessary. I think this is the only pack I have done and used like the partition system. So there's like this big world for no reason. Could have simply just got away with just like a little square and just try to hide everything. But this has like, uses the partition system or whatever you call it now. They go through so many different names. Yeah, it's world partition. Yeah. Okay, with this like map. For some reason that's not updated. But whatever. Anyway, it uses that. So I just put a big landscape in it. I think to finish off this piece, maybe we'll put some like low res like buildings. And just have some low angles. Just so there's something in there, and then like put some trees using like PCG in the background. But we'll come to that. I just right now, just get rid of this prop. And I think we don't want to do one more other prop. And then I'm going to do all the boring stuff. And well, actually, yeah, okay, that's my week. Get to the point where I do all the collisions and stuff. So, because nothing has collisions at the moment. I haven't done anything like that. So we want to get to a point where I can say, yeah, let's put the collisions down. Let's check all the files. Let's make sure nothing's broken. Let's make sure we're just like hitting all the guidelines for a marketplace release and get it to that point where I can say, this is eligible for release. I'm not saying I'm going to release it or package it. It's just eligible. And then from there, we can just evaluate and look and decide like what needs to change more over the what needs to be added to be like to a point where it's like, I'm quite happy to sell this. Yeah. Let's try that. Let's try get there. So hopefully like in the new year, in January, this is done and dusted. Now, I said I was going to get this done before Christmas, but things happened in between. That kind of delayed me, and the project got a bit more ambitious than I expected. But yeah, that happens all the time. Ooh. Stay, you bugger. Oh, it's like dragging itself over. What do we think of that? I like to say that was my first time doing that. It really wasn't. I'm quite happy with that though. Let's put this on. What we need to do is, I've put all the other cloths in here that I simulated in the other Blender file with all the chairs. So we can UV them together and then paint them or add the textures to them. What do we want? What do we want? We want to subdivide this, don't we? I just bought one. Don't worry, we'll make it look better in the... It's a very simple piece. Let's just check how that looks in the editor. Did I convert it to a mesh? Yeah. Let's just freeze it. So let's call it SM Pew Cloth 01. Let's just export that. Let's just see what it looks like in Engine before we do anything. Cloth. Shouldn't go in this folder. We need to move all these. Let's put it here. Let's make sure we have the correct rotation. I don't think these are all completely straight. I don't know. Maybe? Do I have like a basic material I can just throw on here? Probably do. Got a chrome one. Let's duplicate this. Call it basic white and let's edit it. Okay. Just so we can see it a bit better. I don't know, that looks a bit boring. I kind of prefer it to come out this way a bit. Maybe I'll just keep that one. just in case. Let's come back to our plane. Let's chuck it that way a bit more. Yeah, I knew it would just do that. I need to make a simplified version of this end here, because it's really not liking it. It's quite a complex piece. So essentially just going to make a cube that goes around it. But then I need to make like this. That's not going to be fun, is it? I just want to make that shape, just generally. Not so, doesn't need to be completely neat. Just need to sort of represent it. Then hopefully, I can get this problem. Move it a bit. Just really just roughing it. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. Just an approximation. I think we've got it. It's decent enough. Make sure that's like a bit better. Let's put one in another loop there. Okay. That's not so bad. Let's remove that, but let's add a collision to this. I don't know if I should merge everything together, but we'll just let it go like that. There you go. Now it's colliding a bit better over the top of that. And I think that fabric arrangement looks better. Honestly. I'm wondering if I need more geo in it, or I just subdivide it after the fact and it smooths out all those kinks. But we'll see. Let's convert to mesh and then subdivision just by one for now. Get all these nice folds. I think that looks nicer. Got this nice creases here. It just looks more pleasing than the first one. I think it does anyway. So that was my first one. And then this is my second one. I think that looks nicer. So we're just going to export this one and just see what it looks like in the engine. Because we renamed it the same, we could just re-import it. There. Much better. And look, it kind of... What's the bloody button for it? It's G. What was I thinking? It kind of already like it's starting to break up that look. That kind of repetitiveness. I don't know if we need another one. I don't know if it's worth having another one. I think it already looks I think it already looks better. Let's put this white cloth on here and see. Not necessarily going to make the cloth white. I just thought I'd just pick white for now. Be any color we want. Okay, I think that helps. Just slightly. I don't want to overdo it. What else we can do? Jesse. Jesse asks, I wonder how it would look if you had larger cloth going across 2 of the benches. Could help with additional variation. Ooh. Do you know, I like that idea. Let me think. Because they're not, like, perfectly straight, some of them. Let's say we do 1 and 2 here. Maybe. Makes me want to I need to like export an FPX of it though. Go tools, merge. We'll try it. Why not? That sounds quite fun. Let's use a specific. Okay. Just gonna merge these 2 together. You notice I've disabled nanite on it because when you do merge objects or you export them, it just completely crushes the mesh and just destroys the look. It's just the way nanite works. It's just weird. Where am I putting this? Pew. Am I blind? I can't alphabet. Just call it that. It doesn't really matter. Just could double check that we've got our thing intact. Okay, it's intact. Yeah, okay, asset actions, export. And we want to go Pew. No, we're not doing it in there, we're doing it in here. Just call it Pew merge save. Don't need level detail, vertex color, doesn't matter. It's probably got none anyway. Back to Blender. Okay, that was neat. Let me think. How can we do this pretty easily? I'll import FBX. We want to go to our cloth. Okay. We want to rotate it. Because that's how it's rotated in Engine, but we want to rotate it the way we have it here. So we hide our cloth. And we want to use our colliders that we've already got here that we made. And put them in the correct position. Rather than use the mesh itself. I wonder if they're slightly rotated. Because I think they are. We can check that in the editor. No, that one's fine. Okay, these 2 are pretty straight. Which is fine. Just gonna make sure we cover these as best as we can. Ooh. All right. Now we need our cloth that we used. Did I even name it? I didn't name it. wonder if we should just make a new cloth. Make a new one. Jesse asks, I think you can select multiple props in the scene and just go file export. Ah, you know, you might be right. I'll try that next time. I think you might be right. This doesn't need collision. I'm going to put this over here as well. Okay, now let's get a big square. I say 5 meters will do, but we want it, I think, rectangular. Something like that. We want it. Maybe like that. Right. Let's put 70 by 55, maybe. A bit closer. Okay. Add a cloth. Oh. Okay. It's on the... timeline was scrubbed. Okay. Let's drop it. Don't stop sliding, man. It's still sliding. That looks cool, though. What a wonderful idea. Let's put some self-collisions on that. Let's up the quality a little bit. So let's put that on 8. Let's put some self-collisions on. Maybe this on like... maybe this also on 8. See if that helps it in any way. Simulation will go slower, obviously, because it's higher quality. Oh, it's quite heavy, though, on one side. We want to drape it more at the back. Because it is just falling. It's so cool to look at, though. So I wonder if we just drag it over that way. I think there's a pillar in the way in the scene, yeah. I don't know if that's going to matter so much, but... or we make the cloth just a bit bigger. Make sure it doesn't slide underneath there, because we have got like legs underneath here. So let's do something about that. Just be a bit crude about it. Okay, that's helped. Stay! Cool. Should we see what that looks like? It's very cool. We want to convert that, don't we? Let's call this SMPU Cloth 02. Let's just throw a subdivision. We'll do cleanup on the mesh afterwards. There's loads of like triangles on here that can be removed. We're literally just throwing in a dirty model just to see if the composition works well. Because there's no point in like going through all the cleanup stages and texturing UV in when we don't even know if we like it. Right, I think the pivot is on the front one. Need to rotate it. Yeah. Let's grab that white cloth again. Didn't even smooth it, but whatever. You could sort of get the idea. I don't know about this scrunchiness at the side here, but maybe I'll re-simulate it just to see if I can get like a different look. What happens if I put it up here? Yeah, let's see if we can get a different look here, because this is not, I don't know. I think we could do better for some reason. It's interesting, but let's see. Let's try one more sim, another sim on it. See if we can get something different. It kind of throws it back there. That's the thing. See, now it's kind of pushing it away. Just need to wait. It's more or less the same, isn't it? It's almost identical. It's so funny. It's almost like no feeling of randomness. How about we move it slightly? That will cause a different result, surely? It's just slowly sliding. I don't know, is that cool or not? So many decisions. I think it looks kind of cool. Let's shade it smooth as well, so we see it better in the engine. Let's export that as well. Let's try it. Oof. Ooh. I don't know. I'm going to try one more. Then just pick the best out of the three. I don't really mind that. It's pretty neat. Let's try another one. Maybe let's like pull it more this way, push it that way a bit more. I'll let it go. This one's really nice too. I like how it just hits there. You could also reduce the subdivisions, get rid of some of the crazy folds. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'll subdivide it. And then I'll use something called, I think it's called decimate. Ooh, okay. And then subdivide again. So, look, you could always reduce the subdivisions to get rid of some of the crazy folds, and then just subdivision it again. Interesting. I think I know what you're trying to explain. Let me try this one. See how I feel about this one. Because what I'll do is I'll subdivide it, and then I'll make another version which is a high poly, and I'll bake that onto it. But I'll also decimate the low poly. I hope that makes sense. I'll show you what my way of doing it. But I'll just do it one here. Yeah, the flipping pillar. Let's just put it a row ahead. I'm just looking at it. Anyway, what do you say? You say, I think there's an unsubdivide. Yeah, there is. Option in decimate and modify. Yeah. You could play around with that plus subdivision modifier on top to get a cool result. I like the composition of it move forward a row. Yeah, I do too. I think that's better over there. I wonder if we should move it forward another... We'll move this one forward. Just so it's like... These are horrible decisions to be making. It's just like there's no wrong answer. It's all... They both look good. I think I like this one the most, probably. There will be like a double-sided to it. I wonder if I can just check that now, actually, by using this material. Can I do it from here? I can't remember. No, it's from the actual mesh itself sometimes. My brain is just like... Is it in here? No. I think it's in the material. Yeah. We're just going to do that. Just have a look. It's almost like it's not touching it. Yeah, these are the kind of decisions you'll spend hours going back and forth. Yeah, that's true. This is where I get into the weeds of things. Make a blueprint that randomly places cloth meshes based on the object's instance. Yeah, I'm not going to do any blueprints. That's for sure. I wonder if there's just some sort of like distance modifier on this cloth. It's causing it to be a bit far away. So that looks now tighter to the mesh. Hang on a second. He's buzzing me on my phone. That's really irritating me. Bear with me a second. Okay. Let's try that one because it's closer to the mesh. I don't know why I had such a high like padding. And I don't know why I'm keeping the others, but I'm going to keep the others just in case. Subdivide, let's smooth it. File, export. I'm going to probably have to resimulate the first one as well to fix that. Because there's like a huge gap between them. This hasn't... Has this even changed? Feels like it hasn't. File, export, FBX. Export. Maybe it did. Maybe it did. Okay, I wonder if we can make it a bit tighter. It's so annoying. Yeah, because there's quite a gap there. What's causing that? Ah, self-collisions as well. Maybe. Hello. I see you in the chat. How are we all doing? Still fighting with this. Right, is that any closer? Not really, is it? It's just the best I can get. Let's see if there's any other things we can change. No, there really isn't. Could up the quality a bit. About 10. Could always make the collision mesh slightly smaller than the bench. Bit of a fudge solution though. Yeah, true. I mean, I could. Or I could just completely ignore it. I shouldn't really ignore it. It doesn't seem to get any closer. I mean, it looks slightly closer than what it ever was. I think the self collisions are kind of sort of breaking now because of how close they are. But the collisions to these are very close. I mean, not very close. Very. I wonder if we. I think we could. How could I shrink? Because even if I do shrink it, it's not going to be in the same... I don't know, let's try it. Let's try a wild idea. I just don't think it's going to work the way... Let's do it like very slightly. My lord. Let's see. I don't know if I had to, like, collapse that either. At least we have the real mesh underneath it to see if it's impeding on it. Oh, you know what? I think that made no difference. I think you need to, like, reset the transforms. Hmm. Could also extrude inwards or use a solid. No, I'm not going to use a solid. And then, oh, and then I think that could break it though. So you're saying make a solid. Could you open statistics, please? What do you mean by open statistics? You mean statistics down here? Sorry, I'm like jumping between questions. Is it certain? I don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry. I mean, that shows you what we got down here. Sorry. Could extrude inwards or use a solid modifier. So you'd make a solid modifier by like a certain amount so it touches it, and then you delete the one on top and then keep the one underneath, and then yeah, I just wonder if that's gonna break stuff. Because like all the folds over all this, it could probably break it. Or worst case, just use soft selection and move the polys. Yeah, could also do that. This seems slightly better, though. I don't know why it's not agreeing with me. It's definitely closer, isn't it? It's not. It's definitely broken there, though, isn't it? Okay, we're going to have to delete that one. Also looks a bit strange here. Let's not put backface culling on. No, maybe it doesn't look strange. I just need to fix this bit. So we can delete that. I don't need it. Because someone did put this out here. I don't think it's going to make a difference on this one, but we'll do it anyway. Let's get our plane again. Leave it. What if we'll keep it like that this time? So there's more of a fold down here. Or nobody will notice this and it's not worth worrying about? Yeah, because like 90% of the time nobody's going to notice. That's the thing. It's like you could spend probably twice as amount of time that you need to on something. It just doesn't, you don't need to sometimes because no one's going to ever see it. It's only going to be me who sees it. I think let's roll with this. I think let's have a bit more of a drape at the front like that. Because I think maybe that'll look nicer. Let's put a subdivision. Let's smooth. And export that. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever, aren't we? Okay, that's... I think that looks a bit better there. Ooh. Hello. So we are closer. In the wrong areas, but we're closer. I really like that. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Exactly what you said. You can't even see it in here that it is. Maybe it's just not in the right position on this. No, it's most definitely in the right position. Maybe it's just rotated slightly. Yeah. Well, this is great. Maybe this is not. Yeah, there you go. I was going to just modify the cloth itself. Let's just double check that we got that in the right position. Ooh. Is it like that in Blender too? Oh, it's over there. Interesting. So let's drag that out. Maybe a bit more, actually. Look at that. Okay. Okay, that's pretty neat. I think I'm quite happy with that one. Hello. This one's wrong. There you go. Okay, I think it's time to like put these in the right place now. Let's chuck that in there. We need all these other cloths as well. And we can hide the rest. Except for you, what am I doing? Okay. This is all going to be our low poly. Then our high poly is just going to be a more subdivisioned version. I'm going to also keep a backup of these just in case I bugger it up. Because I might have to collapse some of these afterwards. Right. Let's do it one by one, actually. Oh no, there's a pew cloth that we're not using, isn't it? Okay, we're using this pew cloth, this tablecloth, and there was a big cloth as well. What was it called? Where did I cut it? There it is. Okay, now let's back these up. Now that we've got all the correct ones. Alright, bear with us. One by one now. So all we're doing, we're just putting it on like about 3. So you can get all like these. And we're just going to pick that up in the normal map. And in our bake as well for AO and curvature. Okay. So let's go through them all. It's shaded smooth, it's fine. Just double checking. There you go, make it nice and smooth. And our last tablecloth. I'm not sure why it's a weighted normal on that. We want it just shaded smooth. Now the thing is, We could UV this just using a tileable, but I want a lot of the AO detail captured in it, so we're not going to use a tileable, but try put it into a sheet. You can hide all the high poly. Let's reset all the transforms. Let's go. Do you know what I'm going to do? If I've still got them, I'm going to be smart about this because we want it laid perfectly flat. And I think if I UV it from this, yeah, it's not going to be... Even then, even if I wonder if this isn't going to flatten it completely. Actually, it did. Let's see if our luck continues with the rest of them. Okay, they are. It's continuing with the rest of them. Let's see if we can just get away with that. If not, I would have just taken the ones that are unsimulated, and then I would UV them flat, and then copy their UVs to the ones that aren't flat, because it's the same geometry. And I think I can UV it like this, and then decimate it afterwards, and the rest, then it'll keep the shape, maybe? I hope that makes sense. I'm kind of blabbering a bit. Okay, they're all perfect. Hold on then. No, let's pack it first. Just so we can see what we're doing. Let's just use this packer. Just so we can get our scales correct, yeah. And then throw it in Packmaster. It's so annoying, there's so much space left in this. Maybe just give it some padding. Maybe by double. So much space. It's not fair. Tell you what we'll do. Maybe increase these. No, that just bugs it all up. Maybe just keep the texel density the same then. Feels like I could fit one more cloth on there, but I doubt it. What if I just make this one slightly bigger? I know it's breaking a few rules, but I don't like wasting UV space. We can't make anything else bigger, to be honest. Hmm. I don't really like the UV for this. But I'm gonna have to just say yeah, aren't we? Why am I caring about a couple pixel? Okay, I think we should just roll with this. It's a nice wasted space here, which is very irritating. We might, because of their size, I might want to export a detail map. I think that's what I'm going to do, just so I can get that granular detail without sacrifice, like having such a high resolution texture. But we'll figure that out when we come to it, because that's part of the shader work. They're already set, yeah. Okay, let's export this. Call this cloth 01 low poly. And then we want our high poly. All transforms reset, file, export, FBX. Cloth 01 high poly. Open marble set. Sorry, just stretching. We want, oops, we don't want any of those when we're doing. We want to import. And we want to import our cloth high poly and low poly. So let that load. Got it. And then we want our baker. So a nice loaf of bread up here. Low. By. And then I want to stop. I want to turn this off. The replace transforms on reload. Just in case I need to import it again. That it doesn't move once I separate them. Because we need to like. We need to separate them. Just so they don't bake on top of each other. Okay. Now we want to make sure we can get this as close as possible. Without the high poly. Oh, we need to save it actually. So cloth 01. Yeah, we want the offset to be as close to the high poly as possible. We didn't. I forgot to decimate them. See, this is why I turned off transforms on reload. Because I have to go back. Because we forgot a step. Forgot to clean them up. And then hopefully it retains the UV space. And I think it does. Oh my god, where is it? Decimate. So let's put on this so we can see what we're doing. So we want to get rid of quite a few. Don't like how there's a smoothing error up there. So disappear. Like 0.25 is okay. I wonder what happens if I put a weighted normal. Really like that. Maybe it needs another subdivision on top. Not on top, but like underneath. Just to smooth out that edge there. I think this is what you were describing, Jesse. Put a subdivide underneath it. Just to smooth out some of the corners. It's kind of a smart way of doing things. Right, in theory, it should keep its UV structure. If I collapse them. And it has. Kind of. There's some missing pieces. What's that all about? I wonder if I just don't collapse them. I wonder. I wonder. Decimate, decimate, decimate. Let's put that there. Right. Well, when we do the bake, we'll have a look at like everything and see if any of the UVs break or something. You know. I'm gonna keep some of that geometry there. We are using nanite in the end, so that's not gonna cause much of a deal. I think it's good to just like do a little bit of cleanup on it though, even though we are using nanite, because having like a mesh that looks like this is a bit, I don't know. I think it's quite messy. Good to me. Oh, we want to put a weighted normal on it though. All these like horrible smoothing bits will most likely be cleaned up with the high poly. I just wonder if we can get rid of like some of those issues there. Yeah, I think that helps. Just put a little bit more geometry in it. Just so the silhouette isn't completely screwed up. Again, we're using nanite, so I'm not too concerned about how much we're using here in terms of triangle count, but you can see like these flat areas which didn't need like a grid, honestly. And this modifier does do a good job. Just need to put a decimate in between. Just trying to get that result. Pretty decent. Okay. Now, let's export these. And now back here. It should have already re-imported them with the new one. We won't be able to tell just yet. They're not drastically different, that's why. We just set up our baking settings. And then let's bake one. Let's bake a normal map on it. You see we got all these extra creases in there now. And that's just coming from our high poly projection. Which is really nice to see. Some strangeness going there a bit. Let's see what happens when we put like an ambient occlusion on it. And a curvature. Guess it's not that bad. All these really nice shadows down here. Literally just looking over the model to see if I can spot any errors. And I might spot them later on, if there is any. But I don't really see any. I wonder if the high poly needs to be higher. I don't think so, actually. I think we're good. Okay. Yeah, I think we're okay. We're gonna set up a substance file so we can start painting these things. So I am gonna add another collection here. Call it substance. And I'm just gonna copy over all our low poly models. And let's just separate them. So when we have them in the scene, we can see them. Something like that. So when our substance scene will just look like this, basically. So I'm going to export a version for substance. So Clotho1 underscore substance. And I'm going to open up Substance Painter and check it out there. Might want to close the engine. Maybe in a bit. Just because of how much RAM memory this is going to start taking up. This machine that I've got now is a 32 gig RAM machine. I really should have had a 64. I don't think this machine can carry any more though at the moment. Unless I take out... all the slots are taken, basically. Unless I buy completely new RAM memory. I Don't want to be doing that though. Okay. This doesn't even have the normal maps on yet. So if we go to texture settings, we add. Oh, we didn't even import them, did we? Start that again. Select the substance, import baked maps, add, and we add those. Let's not save this. Okay. Now we add the normal map, the ambient occlusion, and the curvature. And then the rest of the maps that we need, just bake directly in here. We don't need an ID map. And this will just help us when we're texturing. Not bad. I don't think it's bad. Let's call it T cloth 01. And we just want to put a cloth. I wonder what cloth I used for the piano, to be honest. We don't want to use a wool or a leather or denim or felt. It's probably like linen. But obviously tiled much more. Much more than that. See, I might remove the normal from this and then just use it as a detail map. But because then you can have a lower resolution texture, but it still looks high resolution because we use a tileable. See, this was what I was worried about. Broken UV. Is that the only place? No. It's a bit broken there too. You see how like that and this look different? So might need to re-UV it. Like collapse the mod. The same here. Can see it there, can see it there, there. From a distance it's fine. I'm gonna have to just go back and do it again. So what we'll do is just re-UV it. So, but with collapse modifiers. So what we'll do is one by one. So we'll collapse all their modifiers. Don't need to collapse that one though. Anything that just like changes the model. This is not going to work, is it? Then. Looks like there's a missing triangle. What's that all about? Maybe it just needed collapsing. Let's see if this is still persistent after it. looking at this UV. Not completely horrendous, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Because if I unwrap it again, it's just all gonna skew it a bit. We don't really want that to happen. We want to keep it as flat as possible. So we're not missing any triangles or anything like last time. I wonder. I wonder if that's all it needed. Should really put a checkered map in. Maybe even on here. Let's not do that. We'll see it. This kind of stuff does happen all the time, though, where you do have to go back and forth because of something you've seen or noticed. We do need to rebake it and re-import it. I most definitely did that right. Let's just double check that I did that correctly. It's Clopho1L, yeah. Probably won't even see it. I bet this makes no difference. So open substance, let's put it there. Let's drag that way. This one this way. This one over here. Just like last time. File export FBX. Cloth substance. I wonder if we just do a new one. File new. There's no point doing anything else. So open that. Add. Discard. Now let's try it again. I don't know if this has fixed it. No, we need world space. We don't need that, and that. All right. What did I have it on? 8, wasn't it? Now, where was that? There's a little bit of stretching there. Where was it really horrendous? It was on here. But even then, okay, it's reduced it. No, it hasn't. Here it has. Seems like it's less noticeable now. If I spot anything egregious, then maybe I'll look at it, but I think I've fixed. I think it looks just fine. It's a bit spotty here and there. I don't think it's anything you'll notice. Except for that. Unless you zoom right in on that. The other alternative is if I do a triplanar. No. That's completely broken there. Oh, it looks better UV though. think they're just going to have to ignore it. Unless we want to spend ages trying to fix a tiny UV error. This cloth 01. Okay. No, that's wrong. We want a black mask on this. Just gonna make like an AO layer. I wonder if there's a really nice. No, there's no. I wonder if you can download one actually. Like a really nice smart material or something. Got it. Where are we going? Substance. If not, I'll just make my own. Well, not my own. I'll do my own layers. I don't think. Screw it. We're fine. We'll use this as our base. We'll add a bit of AO. But then we'll add some like scratches, dirt and bits. Just to like push it a bit more. We want a generator. We want some ambient occlusion. Oops. And we just want that in the color. Black. The AO, that needs to be inverted as well. It's pretty good. I'm just gonna lower that though. Just give it some depth. Because why not? I think I'm also gonna export the textures, put them in Engine as well, just to see what it looks like. I do need to export all the meshes correctly as well. So it's going to go in this folder. I think we want to put them in a new folder as well, so I might want to open up a new content browser just so I can manage this a lot easier. So, new folder, cloth. We want to save all first. To move that one there. What other ones we got? Okay. Well, maybe we put them in. I think we should put them in the actual chair folder. Where it was. So let's delete that folder actually. Let's get this one. Because that's part of the pew. And those two are part of the old furniture as well. So we'll leave them in their correct folders. It's probably wiser actually. That's probably neater. A lot easier to navigate. Because they belong with those models. Let's import our textures. Which I will actually give a different folder. Ooh. Wow, we've exported it incorrectly. Yeah, we did. We need to export it with our settings and not the default ones. So prop house settings, this one. Okay. Now they're packed correctly. Then I'll also need a material. New folder, cloth. We call it material instance. So MI for material instance cloth 01. And I want the cloth shader. So it's like mm_cloth. And then I want that. I want the normal and that. Normal. RMA. We need to make sure this is set to mask. Okay. Save all. Let's get our cloth models. Where are you? Where are you hiding? To MI cloth. And this one as well, MI cloth. We haven't even imported the correct we'll fix that in a second. Let's just get the materials assigned. Then I'll fix the models because they're incorrect. Okay. All right. Let's go get our models because they've got the wrong UVs on them because I haven't exported them. It's you guys. Export. Oops. Okay. Let's just organize our folder structure here a bit. I'm sure there's like an Unreal export that does this better than what I'm doing it now. I just like doing it by hand, one by one. Just probably not the wisest thing to do when you've got loads of different models in one Blender file. Just making sure they're named correctly, making sure we have them in the right folder. Okay. Bingo. Now, I think I might have to re-import a new file on these. Yeah, because they're in the wrong folder. Cloth export. This one is cloth collection. We'll do that. So now that should have the correct UV on it, which it does. Do the same for the tablecloth. So re-import when new file, tablecloth. Should have the new UV on it. I believe it does. I know my textures aren't loading, but it's fine. It's just this computer with everything open. View cloth. And we want this one as well. Yeah. Okay. They're all correct now. Pretty neat. For just chucking a base material on it. This is using the wrong material though. No, it's not. Ooh. Looks like it's really broken though. Did that get re-imported? Re-import with new file. Tablecloth. Let's figure that out. It's in the correct position, I believe. Let's try exporting it again. Tablecloth. Import with new file. Ah. Okay, that was not the right one. There we go. Fixed it. Okay, it wasn't the right file. Pretty neat. Okay. That's just all the basic setup done. I still need to texture it to make it just look a little bit nicer. I think I'll add a detail map to it. So I'll probably get rid of the detail map. Essentially the detail map on here, which is on this base material, which is this height channel. And I'll export a height channel. I think that will work better. But it's not that bad. The amount of resolution you get in this. But if I'd say someone wants to lower the resolution of it, because it is a 4K texture, maybe they want it just 2K, can still retain that quality with a detail map. I was going to stop here for today, but I think I'll just do a little bit more. Because I wanted to... Maybe let's just try get this detail map set up. I don't know. I wonder if I even have one already. It's just like... I wonder if I have one already. No, default normal detail. Wonder what fabric materials I have. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We want meshes. We want to go textures. We want to go to my tileable textures. Don't I have them? There, tileable. Fabric, fabric, fabric. Oh, fabric. Okay. Some reason I only have this really funny lace material. I don't want that. We want to make a new one, don't we? Yeah, because all the other fabric are like carpet. That's not what we want. Even though that could work, but it's kind of like a woven carpet rather than what we want. I'm going to have to export one separately. We're going to probably use this linen, so fabric linen. Or do we want to use that fabric linen? I think we do. I kind of like the color variation in it as well. So tell you what we do is we save this one. We do a we do a new one, but we open a sample and we want a tiling material. So we're going to open the tiling material. By default, all this displacement is on, which we do not want. Which is there. We'll turn that off. And we can get rid of all this junk as well. I'm going to save this as a detail map. On our fabric linen, we only want to tile it by 1. So we just have 1 square that's tileable. And then in engine, we can tile it as much as we need, which I think is by 8. If we're going to match what we've got on our current texture. So we call it T. Let's call it like linen detail. We just want the normal map. We just want that. It doesn't really matter if I export everything else with it, because I'll just delete those. Target. We want to put it in the correct folder. We want it in this folder. Select. Export. Okay. So if we go to our tilables, we go to our fabrics, we want to import just the normal map. We don't need these two. And then put it in there. So now it appears on here. We want to tile it by 8. And it's really annoying that he's putting a console command. I think it's a streaming pool. Yeah, streaming pool size. We'll just maximize that a bit more. Hopefully my computer doesn't explode. Just so we can see this. Yeah, I wonder if we want to increase the tiling of it. Because it's looking a bit coarse. Not coarse. Not in. It's the opposite of coarse. Coarse means fine. It's not looking fine enough. If we go back to our substance, we don't need this anymore. But we can save it just in case we need to come back and make adjustments. Let's go back to the cloth. Let's change this 12 maybe? Maybe a bit higher than 12. We can take off this height as well. Say 16. So in our shader, I'm going to change this to 16. Then we're going to re-import this. Save all, just in case. Did I go too far? I don't think so. I don't think that pops enough though. So we can just change the intensity. Let's put it something extreme. I don't know if it comes up on stream very well. But you can see like that's appearing through now. If I put it on like 0, it's not there at all. Which is what it would look like without this. 1 is like a little bit, obviously. I think if we keep it on 6, it's quite good. Nice and strong. So all that's doing is projecting this normal map over the top. And it's tiling it, so it's only using like a small... I don't know how else to describe it. It's tiling it 16 times over the whole texture. So you can have much sharper details with this fine detail. So no matter what we change the textures underneath, we can still retain that quality. It's just a neat little trick that you can do. Oh, I can see a chair poking out there a little bit. Could fix that later. Maybe our tablecloth needs to be a different fabric though, or like a different color. But hey, that's not so bad for like a first stab. I might add some more color variation based on, and also roughness variation based on some of the folds and the height. Kind of what I've done with the piano. We also added like a bit of like damage on it. With just like some scuffs on it, but I don't think that's completely necessary. There's also a bit of dust and like a dust layer on here as well. I think you probably see it better in here, I'm not sure. So there's a bit of dirt on it. And some additional folds and things. So I'll probably work on that, try and get that looking a bit better. So ignore that. Okay. I think that's where I'm going to end it today. So, because it's lunchtime. I have some errands to run. I don't think I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure when my dad comes. Because he's visiting for the week. And then from there, I'm going away for Christmas. And I will be taking my computer and I will be working. So I will be posting stuff on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, I always post pretty much like what I'm working on. And also like when I go live. But I always post like work in progress screenshots. And everything else. Just anything that's kind of interesting to show. Even if it is a bit crude. Like just some of the models I'm working on, some of the texturing I start doing and stuff like that. I kind of just throw it up on here. It's nothing like completely organized or anything, but it's just really nice to see some like work in progress from like, you know, the beginning to the end. It might interest you. So I do recommend following that if you don't do so already. Yeah, I don't know what else to add. So this might be the last stream for a little while. I promise I'll be back as soon as I can, or as soon as I find convenient enough. It's just that I'm not going to be in the house over Christmas, New Year. I won't have my nice fancy microphone. I will have my like really crappy headset and a smaller setup with smaller screens and things, but yeah, I don't know if it's worth me doing some streams, but I'll see how I feel. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. So I hope if I don't see you guys or hear from you guys tomorrow, if I don't stream tomorrow, basically. So have a happy Christmas, happy holidays, or whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate. That's fine. I hope this has been quite insightful. I know these are quite off the cuff sort of streams where I just kind of ramble and talk and just go on. And there's nothing really organized. But this is kind of how I work, a little bit chaotic. I hope it just gives you a glimpse on like what it takes to make something like, you know, this in the end. Okay, let's put up on our end screen. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by. It's actually been quite fun. And I'll see you in the next one, whenever that might be. I'll let you know on one of the social channels when that may be. Yeah. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy holidays.